Just before a moment, Principal Deena Ferd from Ghatnandur, all respectable teachers gathered here from various English schools of Ambazugai and Parali Taluka, your own dear principal of the school, the two teachers very nicely doing their anchoring here, and the patient listeners, the beloved students of this intelligent school of Ambazugai. Dear friends, I shall take just 5 minutes and then I shall remain here forever with you till the end of this competition. I am very happy to see the students of Ambazugai, at the same time the teachers of Ambazugai gathered here for listening something in English. Such kind of competition, Honorable Zadhav sir is very happy to see, happy to listen, happy to encourage the students for making them enabled to speak. I have due respect for certain teachers who are here, who were students of my own Yashwantrao Chauhan College, Ambazugai. Mrs. Gangne, your own beloved teacher, Mrs. Jyoti, and the front man sitting over here, who too is a teacher and student of my own Yashwantrao Chauhan College, Mr. Khan. Few teachers who are able to express themselves in English, and that too in Marathwada, that too in Ambazugai, where the background is absolutely Marathi. We don't have even Hindi background or English background. In such a situation, a school tries to organize such a competition is a praiseworthy thing. At the outset, I congratulate the president of this institution, the teachers who organized this competition, the teachers who brought their students here for competition, and whosoever taking efforts for having such a kind of competition for the students. Dear students, I have a question for you. We shall try our best to have a kind of communication. At the time of birth of a child, we usually see in hospitals, on screen of television, cinema halls, etc., that a doctor or nurse tries to cry the child, cry the baby. Now, what is it expected to have? Listening of a crying of a baby at the time of birth. What is it expected to the doctors? If the child does not cry, what does it signify? What does it show? Yes? Say loudly. The child is deaf or blind. If the child does not cry, the baby does not cry at the time of birth, what does it signify? What does it show? Is the baby blind? Is the baby deaf? Is the baby lame? Is the baby handicapped? What is it? What do we understand? If the baby does not cry at the time of birth, the nurse takes the baby's legs upside, the head is downside, and shakes the baby, tries to cry the baby. For what reason such a kind of experiment takes place in the hospitals? What is it that the doctor wants to understand or the nurse wants to understand? Yes, the teachers may reply. What exactly the doctor wants to find out? When the child is not, you stand up and say, the baby is, I don't listen you. The baby is died or alive. Okay, that's a good reply. Clap for him. Yes. May I know any more information? Yes, sir.
Doctor wants to know, is it a dumb or a deep?
Yes, there you are. Clap for the teacher once again. The doctors want to understand whether the baby is deaf, whether the baby is able to speak or not in future. Will the child talk or not? Will the child listen you or not? Will the child communicate or not? Will the child have the capacity of talking or not? Suppose the baby does not cry. It means the baby is either unable to listen or unable to speak or unable to communicate or unable to adjust with the atmosphere. Mother's womb has a typical atmosphere. At the place where baby lives for 9 months and 9 days, say it is approximate period suggested by science. The first expression of a baby is to cry, to have voice, which comes from lungs to the throat and then from the mouth, from the nose it comes out. The baby gives reaction, baby gives a kind of communication, baby gives a kind of talk in the form of crying. Baby cries, and that is a kind of communication. Baby cries, that is a kind of talk. Baby cries, that is a kind of dialogue. Baby cries, that is a kind of response given to this world. The baby gives response. The doctors want to understand whether the baby is responding to this climate, responding to this atmosphere or not. It means your initial talk is in the form of cry. The baby's initial response is in the form of cry. And when a person dies, the last response of the people for the man who dies is also a kind of cry, weeping, expressing sorrow, suffering. It means at the time of birth you had your own cry. When you go from this world, somebody else cries for you, weeps for you, sheds tears for you. So, expression of cry, expression of sorrow and suffering is a kind of communication which begins from the birth of a child and finishes at the end of human life. In between that, right from your birth to the time of your death, what do? You talk with thousands of people, crores of people. One needs to have ability to talk. One needs to have ability to express. One needs to have way of understanding others and then responding them, communicating with them. So how do we respond to the world? We have 5 perceptions. Pancha Jnana Indriya, 5 perceptions we have. We have eyes with the help of which we watch, we see, we visualize number of things. As you are watching me, you are seeing me, I am visible to everyone here. Is it not? We see something and receive. Our eyes are recipients at the same time reflectors. We reflect something from eyes, we receive something to ourselves from eyes. We receive certain information, certain knowledge through eyes. So eyes are one thing with the help of which knowledge can be generated, knowledge can be acquired, knowledge can be received by us. We receive knowledge with the help of eyes. We listen something as you are listening and I am talking. I use my mouth, you are using your ears, you are using your eyes, I too use my eyes. Is it not? I have certain gestures with my hands, with my legs, with my body, with my face, with facial expressions I communicate with you. I talk with you with face, with mouth, with hands, with entire body. I use myself entirely for communicating you. Suppose I talk with only lips, only mouth, without making any kind of gestures of my hands, gestures of my body. If I don't make any movement and just patiently stand here and talk, will my way of communication, talk, reach to you without making movements of my hands, without making movements of my eyes, my face, my body language? It is impossible. So one needs to have all the 5 perceptions, 5 recipients. I receive knowledge through ears. I receive knowledge through nose. I smell something. Fragrance of flowers I smell. Dirt of drainages also are smelt by me. That's a foul smell, dirty smell. I dislike it. My facial expressions show that something dirt is visualized by me, seen by me. So your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, and the skin that you wear to your entire body, right from top to bottom, you have the skin. With the help of skin, we react. With the help of eyes, we react. With the help of nose, all these are 5 perceptions which need to be used. Which need to be used at the time of communication. Today's elocution competition, speech competition, is a kind of experiment going to take place here after some time. Maybe 5-10 minutes after that, the students will come here, the students will talk, the subjects are already given to them. As Deena Pherd sir said, you might have prepared your scripts of your speeches. Your teachers might have guided you well. You would be having your own doubts cleared by your teachers. Even at the time of listening, as I am talking now and you are listening, I don't find any student having notebook and pen ready to point what the speaker speaks. Suppose I speak something very important, something very special. What is it needed for you, the listeners, especially the students? What is it needed? You have your satchels with you, school bags with you. Do you have or not? Or is it there in your classes? It's there with you. You would be having your notebooks? Yes. Okay, go through one of your notebooks, open it, maybe a rough notebook. Go through your satchels, go fast. Take a notebook and a pen ready when you are listening somebody in such a program. As you listen to your teachers in school, your classes, is it not? I spoke that there are 5 perceptions. Suppose I ask you after some time, what are the names of those 5 perceptions? How will you respond? What will you do? You will recapitulate. You will try to remember what the speaker might have spoken. But suppose at the time of listening, you just note down nose, number 1, teeth. Is it not? ears, in such a way, taking notes, taking points at the time of listening is learning something new. This elocution competition is a kind of learning something new. What will you learn? Before beginning this program, we garlanded two images of Honorable Savitribai Phule and APJ Abdul Kalam. You must be very well known about these two images. That Savitribai Phule is respected for her what reason? For what reason do we garland Savitribai Phule? Yes, anybody from boys, girls? Why do we respect Savitribai Phule? Was she your teacher? Was she a school headmistress? Was she educational advisor of Maharashtra? Education minister, what was she? Was she education minister of India? Yes, there you are. She started education for the girls. Clap for him. Or good boy. Savitribai Phule started education for the girls. And that is why the ladies of this nation, daughters of this nation, girls of this nation need to know what biography of this woman is. What kind of life was lived by Savitribai Phule? What problems came in her life when she was teaching the girls at Pune? Bhidewada. As you have your Sambhaji Raje school here at Ambajogai, in such a manner, Bhidewada was a place where Savitribai taught to the girls of Pune. Girls coming from Muslim community, Dalit community, open community, SC, ST, we call these words in these days. Coming from all sections of society, students coming from all sections of society were well educated by Savitribai Phule. And what about APJ Abdul Kalam? Was he your grandfather? What was he then? Your uncle? Your uncle's dad? What was the image and what is the image of APJ Abdul Kalam? Yes, there you are. He invented missiles, correct? Clap for him. Any more information regarding him? What more you know about APJ Abdul Kalam? Yes, again you are. He was a scientist, that too is absolutely correct. Clap for him. He was a missile man, he was a scientist, and he was dash, dash, dash. Yes, anybody from girls? Yes, there you are. There you are, absolutely correct. He was President of India, Rashtrapati of India. Very good. He was President of India. He created missiles to be sent on Mars, Moon, etc., etc., the planets. The missiles sent by India. He was the scientist who had deep knowledge of science and technology. So, one needs to have, what my purpose was to talk to you was to have a kind of communication. Speech competition will make you a good speaker. Speech competition will help you to be a good teacher in future, because teachers need to talk, without which they will not be teachers. Honorable Zadhav sir is here, he is advocate, vakil. If the vakils are dumb and deaf, what will happen? The courts will mute. They will remain dumb and deaf. Nobody will listen your cry, your suffering, your tension, your problems. Nothing will be heard, nothing will be seen. No justice will come to you. A good lawyer needs to have a good kind of communication, because he has to plead the case before the judge. Very wise statements are expected from him. Very deep information is to be communicated by him. To the point, relevant, transparent information is to be provided by him before the judge. So lawyers need to have very good way of communication. Teachers need to have. Lawyers need to have. What about leaders? We elect them. We, the people, elect MLAs, MPs, members of parliament, members of legislative council. To that we call Amdar. So how many Amdars are able to communicate with their own people? When we go through the assembly, programs, etc., what do we see? Are they able to speak? Are they able to communicate? Are they able to justify what their people need, what their people want? To whom are we electing them? Those people who are having muscle power only? Those people who are having economical powers only? What is it expected? Suppose Dr. B.R. Ambedkar does not know what to speak, how to speak, where to speak, when to speak. The ladies sitting would not be, sitting here would be there at their houses, in kitchen. It is because of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, who was a barrister, who was a lawyer, who was a leader, who was educationist, economist, politician, what not was there in his career. He has touched the sky. Sky was the only limit for him. Mahatma Gandhi was a barrister. And because of that, he could present the suffering of the people before the nation. So the lawyers need to have a very proper way of communication. Teachers need to have a very proper way of communication. Politicians need to have a very proper way of communication, without which this nation will collapse, without which this nation will not stand. You don't stand on your legs, you stand on your voice. Your voice. And the voice comes to those people who have morality, who have dignity, who have culture, who have quality, who have deep sense of respect for society. Deep sense of respect for society. If one doesn't have that, if one has no knowledge of these things, how can you be a teacher? How can you be a lawyer? How can you be a politician? How can you be? You cannot be. So, my dear students, after completion of your 10th standard, it is dreamt by your parents to make you either doctors or engineers. It's a planning of your parents to send to this typical school. Before that, they had decided to make you either doctors or engineers. If you don't become that, what next? What next? That is a big question, Radhav sir. That is a big question. Hundreds of English schools are opened. In Ambajogai itself, we have 10-15 English schools giving education up to 10th standard. Your dream is to begin 11th and 12th also. After that, what next is a big question. I sincerely present this view before you at the time of admission for BSc. After completing 12th science education, unwillingly the students are admitted for BSc first year. Why? Because they have completed their education from English medium school. They do not understand anything from Marathi, not even something from Hindi. It is their problem to cope with, connect with the society thereafter. Master Sushil, that is a big problem. We have been witnessing, the senior college teachers, we have been witnessing this difficulty that the students coming from English school after 10th and 12th are helpless to go for arts faculty, are helpless to go for BCom faculty. Unwillingly, they go for science, BSc. But there are certain presidents like Zadhav, Honorable Advocate Zadhav, who has come from this typical system of education, and that is why he has created this educational empire at Ambajogai in the form of Chhatrapati Sambhaji School. He understands the need of communication. He understands needs of written communication, spoken communication. My dear students, you need to know what written communication is, what spoken communication is. Today's competition is a kind of spoken competition. One needs to speak. Very few students will come here and speak today. From each school, maybe 2-3 students will be welcomed here. But after the end of this competition, I request Honorable Zadhav sir and the teachers gathered here, I humbly request you to have such kind of experiments at your own classroom teaching. So that is called classroom seminar, classroom conference, classroom debate, classroom elocution. Let every one of you try to speak. Every one of you need to speak. Every one of you need to have a kind of communication. That is what your parents dream. That is what your grandparents dream. That is what the society wants from you. I remember a share written in English by me. Actually, it was written in Marathi. मी भुकेच्या घरी भाकरी धाडतो. As a teacher, what do I do? मी भुकेच्या घरी Shashikala, what do I do? मी भुकेच्या घरी भाकरी धाडतो. Bread I send to the house of hunger. I have come from Marathi medium school, Jilla Parishad school from Gitta, very close to Ambajogai. I am teacher of BA, BCom, BSc, MA English and PhD students in English. Your own Jyoti madam is my student. Shashikala is my student. The boy standing here, sitting here, Sushil is my student. Mr. Khan, the teacher who is here at present now is my student. Even there you are, you too are there. So they have come from such a kind of climate, from such a kind of industry which creates good communicators. I feel proud of my own Yashwantrao Chauhan College. When I speak in Marathi, I speak in Marathi. When I speak in Hindi, I speak in Hindi. When I speak in English, I speak in English. As I am Indian, I am taught 3 languages. Right from the bottom I am taught. I learned Marathi, I learned Hindi, I learned English. It is my duty to learn all the languages thoroughly, which I need to express in a way of communication. कशाला शिकवतात आपल्याला 3 भाषा? फक्त फक्त एकाच भाषेत मास्टरी करण्यासाठी. There are people who do not understand Marathi. I have to speak with them in Hindi. I have to speak with them in English. I have to speak with the rural people in Marathi. When I go at my own house, I speak in Marathi. It is badly needed to you. मी भुकेच्या घरी भाकरी धाडतो, मी उन्हा सावलीने तुझ्या वाढतो. How do I grow? I translated the same. Bread I sent to the house of hunger, grow I tall thy shadow, O summer. O summer I grow. How do I grow? By making competition with you I grow. O sun, I make competition with you and grow. My competition is with sun. My competition is with moon, with stars, with this earth, not with you. So the boys and girls who will come here and speak today, they are not the competitors of each other. They should not think so. They should make competition with APJ Abdul Kalam, make competition with Savitri Bai Phule, make competition with Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Make the competition with him. He studied at home with 18 clock hours. Every day he read, every day he wrote, every day he understood. Our competition is with those noble people. Deena Phad, Dinanath Phad, who is principal at Ghatnandur, is my classmate. A very good teacher, very sensitive teacher. Now in his life he achieved, by becoming principal of a school, he achieved what he wanted. I achieved what I wanted. My students here is nothing but my own earning, Honorable Jadhav sir. It's my earning. I earned these students. That makes me full of pride. I feel proud of you. Wherever I go, I find my students sitting there, patiently listening me. That's what I earn pleasure rather than money. Money is lost in 1 or 2 days. The pleasure doesn't come to an end in such a manner if you earn. So, my dear friends, dear student friends, emerging scholars for future of this nation, I respectfully welcome everybody for this competition to have your very nice, fearless, transparent speeches. Without hesitation, you come here and talk. You think and talk. At a time you think, and you may have some new information, new knowledge, new sentences constructed by you at this moment. You go on speaking, and for that reason this competition is organized by Honorable Advocate Jadhav sir and his intelligent school delivering quality education in Ambajugai. So with these words I remain. Thank you very much.